are yet again. Let me turn that down because it sounds like clip. A whole lot of clip to me. Here we are yet again. What's going on, people? Worry observations, righteous discussions unite people. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I am your host, OMNIETC, Omni, etc. Listen, today we are going to break down an age-old concept, and we are going to thoroughly examine the quote-unquote code. And when we say the code, most people, when they say the code, and we're talking about the code of the streets or the code of silence, code of honor, things of that nature. Today, we're going to be talking about integrity and the ability to hold down something, even in the face of grave circumstances, really grave circumstances in a lot of cases. Jail, not jail, but prison, prison and death, really. So, and the reason why this came up, and the reason why we're talking about this today is because of something that we see happen far too often. We see people talk about certain things, portray certain lifestyles, really actually are a part of certain lifestyles that talk about code, honor, respect, loyalty, and all of these things, just to turn around and betray those same principles that they claim to stand on. And we're going to be talking about the consequences of that in and of itself. Because there are consequences for being committed to something and then, all of a sudden when something terrible happens, you're no longer committed to that thing. So, to you personally, something about, essentially in business, holding up your end of the bargain, right? In business is crucial in order for business to be conducted properly. I'm looking up another YouTube video while I muse a bit with you all. But holding up your end of the bargain is a very, very crucial part of business. Another crucial part is to do some housekeeping, as I forgot to do when we first started. So, logo sting. Please hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, as well as the like. Really helps out the channel. Really helps out this video in particular. This video may not qualify for monetization once I monetize, simply because of the nature of the things that I'm talking about and the nature of how I'm going to pull information to break down and articulate the point that we can then build off of. Or if you disagree, drop it down in the comments. Let me know. Either way. But when we talk about integrity, I actually had a conversation with a gentleman. I don't have access to that video, but I had a conversation with a gentleman talking about and going over the concept of integrity. And then he said something to the effect of not wanting to talk to a specific person directly because of his fear, is ultimately what it came down to, his fear of the consequence of talking to that person about it instead of indirectly talking to another person who had nothing to do with the situation. See, integrity, people don't understand when it comes to integrity about anything, integrity all overall. Your integrity is made to be tested. For those in the back that didn't hear what I said exactly, I'm going to say it again. Your integrity in and of itself is designed to be tested. It's designed to be, it's to be pushed, prodded, poked, and examined. So by you saying that you have integrity up until a certain point, no, you just didn't have integrity. Either you do or you don't. It's not, oh, I'm going to have integrity over here and I'm not going to have integrity over there. I have integrity. That's it. There is nothing else. But in today's society, you know, the way that we live, we've become so loose with the meaning of things, right? We've become so loose with the ways that we conduct ourselves, the ways in which, in the things that we say and how we speak, we don't really mean what we say when we're speaking. We don't know exactly what we're doing with our words. And because of that, since we get loose with our words, we get loose with their meaning. And as a result, everything is loose. Language it's like the screws to a civilization, to a culture. You want to control a culture, you control their language. I'm trying to look up, and if anybody has it, let me know. I'm still looking at the comment section and whatnot for whoever is there. So please feel free to chime in whenever. I'm trying to find, somebody get me the name of the original Trump attorney when he was in office, I believe, or a little bit before. Actually, yeah, a little bit, the one before he became president. Before he became, let's see, because I can't find it. I'm not talking about recently, but the point that I'm trying to articulate would point to, well, this would point to the point that I'm articulating about Roy Cohn. No. No, that's who his dad. That's his dad's attorney. Hold on. What was? No. I don't see the original Trump attorney that was there for the election. So I'm looking for the attorney that was a part of Donald Trump's election. That attorney, I forget his name, but there's a beautiful clip of him being grilled in this indictment. Which I would actually, it's 19. Oh, highly appreciated. I'm thinking about all former ones. Appreciate it. Thank you, Robbie. Highly appreciate it. Because because I don't want to just use black examples, even though I have more than black clips to pull from. I want to use. Hold on, you in the chat? Yes, Christopher J. What's up? What's up? What's up? Nobody. This dude. Wow. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Hey, what's up? What's up? I got you. Hold on. I was looking down at my phone. What's up? Appreciate it. Christopher J, Raw B, appreciate y'all chiming in, as always. So wasn't nobody going to say shit to nobody. Nah, I did this spur of the moment, actually. I had a lot of run-ins today, so I wasn't actually going to do this today, but I ended up doing it. I ended up having a little time. But I'll look through that list a little bit later. But let's get on with the show, right? Because there's a difference. There's a difference in what people think it really comes down to in some cases and what it is. So for my first example, this is what people romanticize, right? We romanticize of what it is or what it should be. Well, we conflate what it is with what we believe it should be. So this is my thing. Hold on, let me reopen that. Reopen that one. Okay. So let's get on with the first clip that I got for you all, because this is what people believe and what people romanticize, right? This is what people believe and romanticize. This is a clip from Sons of Anarchy. Used to love that show. Really love that show. Oh, you on sneaky at work mode? I got you. So this is a clip from Sons of Anarchy, right? Hold on. And this guy, Otto in Sons of Anarchy, he was pretending to the feds like he was going to turn on the chapter house. And I'll just play it from here. It really doesn't need that much of an introduction to illustrate the point. Let me know if y'all... Oh, hold on. Here we go.
Be a minute.
Hold on, I forgot. This is the clip that I need to have the your digs on. Hold on. This clip, in particular, I need to... Yeah. Let me put up this censor bar real quick. Actually, I think I could catch it. Hold on. I'm gonna show you what. I'm gonna give you a breakdown. So he's about to turn on the boys, right? He already been through it in prison. This man really ain't got nothing to lose at this point, unless he turns on his folks. This man's been through hell. All right.
You state your name for the record.
Okay, hold on. I might not catch it. Hold on. Sensor bar. I got to put the sensor bar in. Listen, it's about to get... Okay.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that man just bit off his tongue. This man just bit off his whole tongue, folks. I ain't gonna show it. Matter of fact, we're going back to the big screen. As Sister Raw B says, Summer Jam. We going back to the big screen while I fix up the next one. So he just bit off his whole tongue. He was about to throw it at the window. I couldn't censor that part out. He just bit off his whole tongue, right? And because he bit, and because he went that far, and this is what I feel, this is what I think most people want to have happen in certain situations. When they do dumb shit and then they get caught up for it. You could talk about your personal circumstances, and you could talk about, the environment that you were raised in. There are plenty examples of the contrary. So why are you always the rule? There are plenty of exceptions. Why are you always the rule? You know what I'm saying? There should be more rules than exceptions. Because if more people were exceptional thinkers, they would go a different direction than merely what's presented to them. Because usually, I find in my life at least, the first deal is usually the worst deal for you to take. The first thing that they put in front of your face, the thing that's most accessible, easiest to get, easiest to acquire, is usually the worst thing for you. This is what it's proven true in my life, at least. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that man bit off his whole tongue. His whole tongue. I ain't gonna show it because I ain't trying to get taken down, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get none of that happening. But let's go to this next clip. This is my next example. This is what the code really comes down to. For this, we're going to go to Disney Channel's Smart Guy, because I remembered for this episode in particular, there is a particular clip from that show. It just came to my mind. Hold on. Let's go. We hit it back. All right. Let me take the censor bar off. All right. Smart Guy. This is when they up in the principal's office right now. This is the setting. They got busted for something. It was up in the principal's office. Now they about to roll on his brother. Hold on.
Little short rock.
Now they all busted together. Now this is what really happens in real life. This is what happens in real life.
Boy, which one of you dropped a dime on me? You sang like the Harlem Boys Choir, didn't you?
I'm sorry, TJ, man. I've been under a lot of stress. I just quit smoking.
What happened to the famous code? The one where everybody's supposed to keep their mouths shut. Huh?
Morris, your father would like a word with you.
Oh, man, I done heard that word.
Well, I gotta say, fellas, I'm pretty upset.
Me too. He broke the code.
But she said she was gonna suspend me from the team for the rest of the season. I mean, what was I supposed to do?
See that? Until there are consequences presented in front of another person. It's that easy sometimes, but let's go.
She didn't exactly invite me to Six Flags. That's where I rolled over on Mo.
Well, I didn't have any choice.
Neither did I.
I love seeing the code at work.
Man.
You are familiar with the code.
Man.
You mean the one where nobody rats on anybody else until their fat is in the fire?
That's the one.
That's not a code at all.
Exactly.
Boy, this is confusing.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's a hard concept to grasp, Teach. Even for a genius.
So how do I know when I'm a rat and when I'm not?
I guess you pretty much have to rely on your own internal code. That's the one you had before your high school friends set you straight.
What's it telling you now, TJ?
It's telling me that what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so he learned his lesson, blah, 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 blah. All right. We ain't here for the moral of the story. We're here. We are here to break down the concept and the misleadings and the misgivings and the misguidings of the quote-unquote code. How are we going to be... I'm sorry that my dreads keep getting into my camera. But, I mean my mic. How are we really telling people out here, and when I say we, I mean y'all, because I'm not, but how are we when I say we, not y'all, but the culture, the quote culture, out here telling people, how is the culture going to be out here communicating that there's the path to go down when most people are like those boys? Most people are like those boys. So now, instead of being like Otto on Sons of Anarchy, where that man has been through hell, he's been beaten, battered, bruised up in prison, he still doesn't turn on his guys, and then he goes as far as biting his own tongue off in order to keep up the code. Otto was the giving tree. You know the story of the giving tree? It's about this tree. This child, small child, keeps walking up to this tree, asking this tree for stuff. The tree keeps giving pieces and pieces and pieces of itself until it has nothing left to give. It's a horror story, but it's a child's book as well. So how is the culture going to continuously justify and glorify stepping into something that is already designed for you to fail? It is designed for you to fail. I don't care what anyone says. Let's see. All right. On top of that, now with that, let's get to one of the first cases. This is one of the first ones that actually, one of the first stories that we had, right? Hold on. Yeah, this is Alpo Martinez. We're going to review this documentary real quick. It's only 18 minutes. We're going to review this real quick. Hold on. There we go. Gotta make my stuff fit.
Now you always up around Harlem, Alpo,
yeah,
Rich Porter.
Listen, let me tell you something. Rich Porter, I used to listen. I used to see this little Rich Porter all the time because he used to like my cars and stuff. Like with my trees, he's always come around to Dapper Dan and look at my money and cars and stuff. But I'm looking at this little, he's just a kid, right? And then one day, one of the kids from Dapper Dan comes up and he says, Richard is dead.
Yeah.
And I thought he died from fucking got sick or something. I didn't know. He's such a kid. I didn't know he's no fucking drug dealer. He's no kingpin.
Right.
He's just a little baby.
Right.
Wow. He's a little baby. I don't even look at him as an equal. He's a little child.
We could say we've done crazy things back in our days, but he's done a lot.
It's a guy, yeah.
Okay.
There's a guy in there.
He died?
I don't know if he died. I seen, but
all right. While this running, I'm going to prepare anybody that wants to review this with me. I'm going to prepare the link real quick. It's going to be a little bit different than StreamYard, just letting you know off top.
147th Street. A dark red pickup truck crashed into parked cars. The driver was shot 5 times in the chest through the car window and killed.
I heard 5 shots. 1 and then 4 consecutive shots after that.
A mysterious Abraham
I can't do that. I can't do that on this
Louis Domain apartment sometime in 2015. The 49-year-old Puerto Rican just
it's fine.
Set up a life and befriended the locals. Abraham worked at Walmart for a while and eventually made enough to start his own construction company. He built an image as the construction worker, avid bike rider, and truck enthusiast. Oddly, Mr. Rodriguez had a thirst for life, unlike most men his age.
Okay, so
almost like he spent the last 25 years in a jail cell. He had more money for someone of his occupation, too. The luxury cars and the Harley Davidsons rose a lot of eyebrows, but no one asked any questions. Surprisingly, his first time at the local bank, he seemed clueless about anything bank-related. The teller asked him, "Have you never had a bank account?" To which Abraham responded, "No, I never needed one." He enjoyed skydiving.
Hey, we're jumping out of an airplane today?
Yes.
Why are you doing it?
It's on my bucket list.
Bucket list?
Yes.
Hey, you ready to check it off?
Yes, I am.
We're going 13,000.
All right. So that's what's up. But let's get to what it is. It's dope that he got to do all of that. Don't get me wrong. But let's get to what we're here for.
To buy outposts. Alberto Martinez was born in Harlem in the 60s.
Okay.
Harlem of old was a gutter of New York and a far cry from modern Harlem. There wasn't too many ways off the block, so a good majority of Harlem's able-bodied men took up profession in hustling. The art of making money appeared out of thin air. By the 80s, Harlem was experiencing a change of the guard with the old hustlers.
That's right, I need to do this. Hold on. Because I'm sorry. All right. Let me go back real quick while I adjust this. All right, so I need to find the exact point in the video. Hold on one second. There we go.
At night, and I pulled up right here. He got into the.
Nope, that's not it. That's not the one.
Alpo played it off.
Tougher than what he really was.
Okay, there we go. I didn't think it was that deep in the video. All right. My apologies. All right, let's go.
What was the problem with Wayne? Make sure to check out our Wayne Perry video for more on him. Dementia, another famous New York kingpin, established himself in the D.C. drug market after New York started getting less lucrative. As the story goes, Dementia either disrespected or was messing with Alpo's wife, something Alpo couldn't stomach. In a ploy to squash the beef and prevent any bloodshed, Alpo invited Dementia to a public basketball game for a face-to-face.
Dementia was a situation where he really disrespected himself and he disrespected other people, and that's why that happened to him. Yeah, he thought he was tougher than what he really was. But I ain't play with them Brooklyn dudes.
You ain't play with them?
Nah. I ain't. They were cool. I had some cool ones that came up out of Brooklyn, but I just always remembered as a kid how Brooklyn used to like to rob you and all that.
Right.
How they was always known for robbing you. So that kind of like stuck with me in my time. But I met some cool getting money dudes out of Brooklyn without a doubt.
Okay. Who hit him?
My man that was down with
Wayne Perry?
Not Wayne, but the kids that was up on the Wayne. Wayne, too many people knew him as far as right there, so we got one of his little soldiers to hit him. But I was shaking his hand. I told him, I said, when you see me shaking his hand, I nod my head. You hit him right.
You never feared that one of the bullets
This is crazy.
maybe hits you?
No, I didn't care about that. I was shaking his hand. It was enough where, because they walked right up on him. I mean, it wasn't no, like, from a distance. As I was shaking his hand, they walked right on him and put the gun right to his forehead and blasted him.
That was in the daytime?
Yeah, daytime. Broad daylight. After a basketball game. I just got finished playing basketball in a basketball tournament.
So now, did that put the police right on you?
Look, Chris, this is wild, bro.
Because later on when they finally arrested me, they was like, man, you was killing off everybody. So that just gave them, they was already looking for me, so that was just something else that they put in their book, like, another one.
So on November 7th, 91.
I don't understand it.
And Wayne shortly after. Alpo was facing death or life for 14 murders and drug dealings. But the feds wanted Wayne just as bad as Alpo. As the traitor he was, it came down to business in the end. It was never personal. Alpo could remember all the murders in detail, became the key witness against Wayne.
He didn't just
Yeah, we can put that right there, matter of fact.
First he stabbed us several times, because sometimes we
Building the plane while I'm flying it, folks. Any suggestions and everything, always welcome.
Switchblades. Right. Some nice sharp joints in case we had to stab somebody, we get up out of there. Right. So he had one of those knives.
I'm gonna leave that. You know what? I'm gonna leave that one up, Chris. I'm gonna leave that. That's gold.
All in the face, in the head, in the body. He stabbed her several times, but then he shot her like 4 or 5 times. Because this was testified against him, but he beat the case.
Man.
But he beat the case. Yeah. So her brains and everything.
Okay, so he's just talking and talking and talking. And this is really like, this is my point. Okay, so I just wanted to verify that the OGs are the ones that are respected as OGs, the ones that would tell you not to do something, the ones that would instill in you certain principles, morals, and values that you entrusted in them to guide you when you were younger. Really, in some cases, and probably quite a few cases, maybe more often than not, I would say more often than not, mislead you and do the very thing that they tell you not to do yourself. Listen, hold on. We about to get into the main man, Keefe D. Let's get into this breakdown. Shout out to Poetic Flacco. He's gonna give us the context. He's gonna give us the context and the of what's going on with Keefe D right now. And the fact that he went on all these platforms. People come sideways at Vlad TV. This man went on every platform he possibly could to get his story heard. But we're going to see why that was just not the smartest thing to do and why he felt so confident in doing so. So, and those that don't know, Keefe D has recently been arrested for his involvement in the deletion of Tupac Shakur. Hold on.
Before we get started, we have to break down what a proffer agreement is. A proffer agreement is an agreement that you enter into with law enforcement where essentially is a contract where you give information in exchange for we can't use the information you gave us at this particular moment against you. But I'm just a blogger who's a little illiterate. So let me just have a seasoned detective break down what a proffer agreement is to you guys.
Can you tell me the differences in a proffer agreement, immunity, and Queen for a Day?
A proffer agreement is not immunity. People get this confused. There's no immunity in a proffer agreement. All a proffer agreement is that information that you provide that is self-incriminating cannot be used against you. It's like, you know, it's a constitutional right against self-incrimination. So we offer this certain times, during law enforcement investigations. We'll say, listen, if you'll sit down and answer our questions and be honest about responding to our questions, we won't use your information against you. We'll use your information to prosecute other people. And if other people provide information that we can use against you, we most certainly will. We just won't use your own self-incriminating statements and get you. That's a proffer agreement. Immunity is different. Immunity means you can't prosecute them. A proffer session means we can't use your statements, but we can still prosecute you if we get other information.
A proffer agreement isn't a get out of jail free card. As a matter of fact, I can argue a proffer agreement is a get into jail card.
So think about what he just said, right? Think about what he said. He said, in this instance, let me run it back, matter of fact.
Most certainly will.
And this is how dumb this shit gets.
Proffer agreement is not immunity.
Right.
People get this confused. There's no immunity in a proffer agreement. All a proffer agreement is that information that you provide that is self-incriminating cannot be used against you. It's like, it's a constitutional right against self-incrimination. So we offer this certain times, during law enforcement investigations. We'll say, listen, if you'll sit down and answer our questions and be honest about responding to our questions, we won't use your information against you. We'll use your information to prosecute other people. And if other people...
Okay, right there. Right there. I don't know, Chris. I don't know, man. Listen, I don't know. I can't tell you whether or not his attorneys did. I can tell you as the average citizen that probably knows, you know what I'm saying, not nearly enough of the laws of this country. And, you know, I can tell you that that deal wouldn't be for me. I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, because this is the thing, right? What we reviewed, it's all about your relation to other people, right? Let me go. Let me hit back one time. All right. It comes down to, I'm gonna leave your comment up. It comes down to, at the end of the day, your relationship to other. That's how they build the cases, based upon your relationships. The relationship is where the value is. The relationship is how their money is made. The relationship leads to their conviction rate being high, as Snoop Dogg in the dispensary, right? So, like, yeah. Exactly. A proffer agreement is useless. It's absolutely useless, because you got to think about it. He said, in this instance, give us information and we'll let you go. In this instance. This is how you know niggas ain't got no forethought. This is how you know. In this instance, we will still use your words in the apprehension of other persons of interest or suspects. However, you're free to go at this time and this time only, based off of your testimony today. So give us some of your homeboys. We'll let you go home for now. So what's naturally going to happen? What did we see in Smart Guy? You know what I'm saying? Little TJ started rolling on people. They rolled on him. Everybody was rolling on each other because nobody wanted the consequences. You think your homies wanted the consequences that you snitching on right now? You think the homies signed up for this when all of y'all were to keep to the code, but you signed a proffered agreement that said, okay, right now you're going to let me go right now, but I got to snitch on my homeboys, and then you're going to build the case off of what they tell you, which means I can still be reintroduced into this case somehow, some way, based on their testimony, and I've already put myself at the scene of the crime. I've already put myself, you know what, we ain't get there yet. Hold on. Hold on. Ooh, boy. We ain't even get there yet. Hold on. Terrible. All right. So we're going to go past this. Oh, God, I hate Hero Wars. All right. Why is that at the end? All right, we going back. Finding my place.
Believe that Orlando Anderson shot and killed.
Okay. Yeah, we were here. We were pretty early in it.
Honestly, think about it. What do you think is going to happen if you walk into a police department, give a confession regarding your role in a murder? You think you leave that police department because you gave a proffer and they can't use those confessions you gave to them against you? That the police is just going to let you get away scotch-free, away with murder? Or do you think that your confession makes them more motivated to get you because they know now you're 100% guilty? A proffer don't protect your words. It only protects the statements you gave to the police in that moment. So if you leave that confession or that interrogation and go elsewhere and give a statement to somebody else admitting to your involvement in a particular crime, the police can use the statements you gave to somebody else against you and still indict you and prosecute you.
And I want to say this myself. The statements that he made in that proffered agreement was in LA, not Vegas. It's very important. That's very important. the statements that he made those statements in LA, not Las Vegas. Why is that important, you ask? Let's let it unfold, people.
And that's the fate that Keffe D is currently suffering.
Now at 10:30, after nearly 30 years, new developments tonight in the unsolved murder of rapper Tupac Shakur. A new twist tonight in the decades-old murder mystery. Las Vegas police...
Oh, Las Vegas police. Because Tupac's murder took place in the place that Keffe D didn't have the proffered agreement in, so they have full jurisdiction to, like, you think law enforcement doesn't talk to each other across state lines? Let's continue. Oh my God, this is bad.
Serving a search warrant this week in connection with the rap star's shooting death.
Keffe.
Now, I am glad, before we go any further, I am glad that we're getting some sort of conclusion, some sort of closure. Listen, not really, because we been knew this shit for years. Like, we knew a lot of this information for a minute because Keffe D was talking on a bunch of platforms, but we gonna get into that.
Keffe D is the uncle to Orlando Anderson, aka Baby Lane. Now, Las Vegas police believe that Orlando Anderson shot and killed Tupac after he was violently assaulted by Tupac and Suge Knight.
Just 3 days after the awards, Tupac and others attack an LA gang member in a hotel lobby after a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas. Believed to be in response to an earlier assault against someone affiliated with Death Row. The attack will land Death Row head Suge Knight in jail. And according to some police reports, lead to Tupac being shot less than 3 hours later.
They believe Tupac was shot and killed by Orlando Anderson, but didn't have enough. And with Orlando Anderson being shot and killed himself months after Tupac was shot and killed, they was at a dead end. And they stayed at that dead end up until about 12 years later in 2009. Y'all remember our little friend who broke down what a proffer agreement was earlier in this video? Well, that's Detective Greg Caden. Detective Greg Caden is a retired Los Angeles police officer. And in 2009, Keffe D was arrested on some very serious drug.
That is the $1 million question. I was waiting for somebody to ask it. Thank you, Nikolai. Shout out to you, Nikolai J. Listen. T, Nikolai J. I'm sorry, I didn't see the T at first. Listen, do I think he's going to tell on Puff? He told on himself. Is one of two things are going to happen regarding Puff and Keffe, right? Keffe is going to be too scared at this point to take any type of deal because he thought he was immune from talking. Like, he thought he could go on all of these shows and say what he wanted to say and get some things off his chest, let off some steam, because that sort of turmoil eats away at an individual from the inside. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we on Lock Nation. What's happening? What's happening? Shout out to you. Greetings. What's going on? What's going on? But back to your question, Nikolai. Listen, he is either going to be too terrified to accept any offer, or he's going to tell the whole thing. He's going to tell the whole thing. He's going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth at this point. Oh, you don't like Flacco? I just came across him myself. But the way that he put this together, you know what I'm saying, I had to give him his just due on it. So we're going to continue with the video. Hold on.
Charges. While Keffe D was in police custody for his serious drug...
Matter of fact, let me rewind it for the people that just joined in.
Well, that's Detective Greg Caden. Detective Greg Caden is a retired Los Angeles...
Hold on, further context.
Our little friend, up until he was shot and killed, they was at a dead end. And they stayed at that dead end up until about 12 years later in 2009. Y'all remember our little friend who broke down what a proffer agreement was earlier in his video? Well, that's Detective Greg Caden. Detective Greg Caden is a retired Los Angeles police officer. And in 2009, Keffe D was arrested on some very serious drug charges. While Keefe D was in police custody for his serious drug offense that could land him in jail from anywhere between 25 years to life, Detective Greg Kading was responsible for negotiating an agreement between Keefe D and the prosecution, where Keefe D would give a proffer agreement in relation to Tupac's murder. In exchange, he wouldn't be sent to jail on those drug charges.
Well, in Keefe D's situation, he had a lot to gain because he was looking at trying to mitigate these drug charges that we'd built against him. So him and his attorney and the U.S. attorney all agreed to do this proffer agreement.
So let's get this straight. Let's get this together, right? Pull my tools up. Let's get this together. How are we going to go from how do you give up, right? How do you give up? I want to say what I want to say. How do you give up the consequences of unaliving somebody to escape the consequences from moving weight? I really want to, like, when we put them on the scale, if we gotta weigh the sins, if we have to weigh sins, and one weighs more than the other, the consequences behind, you know what I'm saying, unaliving a person, the consequences of being a street pharmacist, I don't know. The math ain't mathing is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's get back to it. It's not mathing for me.
We went to eat. We was eating. Man, they came and said, "He just beat up Lane." And we was in the hotel. Yeah, at the MGM and the restaurant. There was a few New Yorkers though. We was with Zip. Like, man, y'all need some help. We got this.
That's what they said?
You guys aren't out in Vegas then with that intention. That's not why you're in Vegas.
We've been going to the fight since Pat days, the 80s.
Oh wow, this is him telling. This is they got the actual recording. Wow, okay. It happened. It was such a smooth transition. I didn't even understand what was going on at first. Okay, let me back up. Let me back up. Hold up.
Proffer agreement.
We went to eat. We was eating. Man, they came and said.
This is in 2008. I don't know if y'all can see it because it's kind of like a grainy video, but it's 2008. So that's really not that long time ago. It's almost 20 years, but not quite.
He just beat up Lane. And we was in the hotel. Yeah, at the MGM and the restaurant. There was a few
it's about
New
15 years ago.
We was with Zip. Like, man, y'all need some help. We got this.
That's what they said?
You guys aren't out in Vegas then with that intention. That's not why you're in Vegas.
We've been going to the fight since Pat days, the 80s.
So y'all geared up to go to Vegas, and y'all was going anyway. Not even knowing who else was going to be down there. Not knowing if Pac and Chip was going to be down there.
We ain't had no pistol. We ain't had no pistols down there.
During the proffer agreement, Keefe D would confess and admit that while they were at a Las Vegas restaurant at the MGM eating, that somebody would come up to them and let them know that his nephew, Orlando Anderson, just got jumped by Tupac and Suge. But here's the interesting thing, though. Keefe D was eating dinner with some New Yorkers, one of them being Zip, who already alerted Keefe D that Puff had put a bounty on Tupac's head. Keefe D would further incriminate Zip by telling Detective Greg Kading that Zip turned to him and said, "Bro, this is the opportunity for us to collect the money that Puff put on Tupac's head." Because Orlando Anderson was jumped at the MGM. They were already eating at the MGM.
Shit, it was right there. It's a perfect opportunity, baby.
That was Zip talking?
Yeah.
Because of what happened with Lane?
Yeah. Well, he told me in the lobby that he had some Jimmys.
Some what?
He had a Jimmy in that Benz. He had a little secret compartment. Thing popped out. Popped up. Popped up, yeah.
In the armrest?
Yeah.
Keefe D would further elaborate and tell detectives that some New Yorkers, including Zip, even offered to come along with them to go look for Tupac.
So this is where you get to the point where you just start naming names you didn't have to name. Oh man, that's wild. You start naming names. Yeah, and such was there too. You know what I'm saying? They ain't have no recording. They ain't have no, you know what I mean? They ain't have nothing on these individuals, but you just started naming names you didn't have to name. That's crazy. Let me hear this. Let me see if I heard that right. Hold on, I might have got it wrong.
Yeah. Keefe D would further elaborate and tell detectives that some New Yorkers, including Zip, even offered to come along with them to go look for Tupac.
You tell Zip, hey, we're gonna go handle this shit or whatever?
Yeah, they act like they y'all want.
Some New Yorkers. Ooh, what New Yorkers? What New York? Listen, I don't know. Nikolai. I don't know. I don't know. But let's keep it going. Some New Yorkers.
We know where them motherfuckers at. They was telling us that they gonna be at the 662 Club.
Who was saying that?
Everybody.
Everybody out there?
Yeah, everybody.
You get out of the car with Zip after everything. What do you say to him? Like, man, we're gonna handle this? Like,
yeah, we're gonna go handle it. He's like, yeah, show the perfect time, you know.
Okay, then you jump out of the car, and then what happens?
I got in the van with the busters. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Lane and Cadillac with T Brown and Dre.
Yeah.
Y'all go with the van. It's 2 cars go to 662.
Yeah, the van and the Cadillac.
That's important. Detectives is listening like, whoa. We wasn't expecting for you to say you was there too.
He told them he put himself at the scene. Let's run it back.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Lane and Cadillac with T Brown and Dre.
Yeah.
Y'all go with the van. It's 2 cars go to 662.
Yeah, the van and the Cadillac.
That's important. Detectives is listening like, whoa. We wasn't expecting for you to say you was there too. You was in the vehicle that went to go murder Tupac? They brought him in to get information about Tupac's murder. Now he's entering in some dicey territory, incriminating himself further. But again, they can't use nothing he says here against him, so he can speak as freely as he wanted to. Greg Hayden and the other officer present will reassure Keefe D of this consistently and constantly, letting him know we can't prosecute you for nothing you say right now, so speak as freely as you want. So Keefe D spoke as freely as he want and gave a lot of information. Keefe D would further tell them that they went to a 662 Club to look for Tupac, but he wasn't there. And he also gave an exact detail and description of who was in a murder vehicle with him and where everybody was seated.
They didn't show up. We waited about 15, 20 minutes. They didn't show up. So it's like, let's go get some liquor. And Corey, they gotta kill him, dog. You know that motherfucker. You know, got the police killing motherfuckers and all that. Man, you crazy. We stopped at the liquor store. I got out the van with their ass and jumped in the Cadillac. Them motherfuckers busted. They scared.
So Orlando Anderson and some other dudes were in a Cadillac. Keefe D was in the van with the OGs, right? The Cadillac and the van was moving together. So apparently, like, in the van where the OGs was with Keefe D, like, the OGs were acting scared and they didn't want to spin the block and put in work. So Keefe D hopped out of the van where the OGs were reluctant and scared and hopped in the Cadillac with Orlando Anderson and a bunch of other dudes.
The Cadillac is being driven by Terrence Brown. In the front passenger seat is Keefe D. Behind the driver is DeAndre Smith. And in the right rear passenger seat is Keefe's nephew, Orlando Anderson.
So that's the setup.
Smith. And in the right rear passenger seat is Keefe's nephew, Orlando.
T Brown, Keefe D. So OG's up front, Young Guns in the back.
Anderson.
So now Keefe D is in the Cadillac. They're now leaving the club they thought that Tupac was at, but Tupac wasn't there. So now Keefe D is in the Cadillac with Orlando Anderson and those two dudes. So while they're leaving the club, by coincidence, they found Pac.
Then we came up Harmon, got the Las Vegas Boulevard, and shit, here they coming at BMW, a gang of cars.
Keefe D would explain when they were leaving the club after not being able to locate Tupac. They were leaving, but while they were leaving, they seen a BMW, but they didn't really know who was in the BMW or even notice it at all. So they was just leaving. Then while they were driving past the BMW, they heard a bunch of women screaming, "Tupac, Tupac, Tupac."
So the women scream Tupac. Of course, Tupac gonna be Tupac, and then, you know what I'm saying, give away his location.
And Pac then hanged out the window and was, talking to them and inviting them, say, "Yo, come to the club with me, come to the club with me." So when Keefe D and them heard this, they just turned. They seen Tupac out the window inviting the women to come to the club with him. So they bust a U-turn to go get up on Tupac.
And bros, Tupac, Tupac. We like, there they go. Made a U-turn. We wasn't supposed to make a U-turn. Just swung a U-turn. They was in the middle lane. We just pulled up on the side, checked every car to see where they was.
So what directed your attention to him? Was some girl shouting at Tupac?
Tupac. He gave himself away. Otherwise, they would have got away.
Keefe D would explain that when they bust a U-turn and finally pulled up on Tupac and Suge, that he had every intention of shooting Tupac, but he couldn't shoot Tupac because they bust a U-turn. And when they bust a U-turn, where he was seated in the passenger seat, he no longer had the leverage or position to shoot Tupac, who was also in the passenger seat of the other vehicle, because there were people in between them. So what he did next, well, what he confessed to next, was just outright idiotic.
I thought he was gonna pull on my side. That's my little nephew. I'm a big guy. Well, and he pulled on their side.
So you were fitting to blast if you had to, or you were just?
Yeah, if we would have been on my side, I would have blasted.
Okay.
Here's a chart of.
So he said all of this, and then, yeah, that's crazy.
Where they were seated. So Keefe D passed the gun to Dre, who was next to Pac, but Dre said, "Nah."
I gave it to Dre, and Dre was like, "No." And Lane's like, "Give it to Pac, too."
So Orlando shot across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, rolled down the window, Pac.
So Orlando would have had to lean over the top of Dre, right?
Yeah, he did.
So I want to point out that we have two older gentlemen leading two young gentlemen on a mission of vengeance against a high-profile target. I'm gonna let this play out.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you?
Yeah.
He looks right at you?
Yeah, he looks at me.
Why are you looking right at me?
Fucking known each other since we were 7, 8 years old.
Keefe D essentially confessed to giving a murder weapon to Orlando Anderson, and Orlando Anderson shot and killed Tupac using the murder weapon that Keefe D gave him.
Exactly.
Keefe D was talking as freely as he wanted to.
We'll say, listen, if you'll sit down and answer our questions and be honest about responding to our questions, we won't use your information against you. We'll use your information to prosecute other people. And if other people provide information that we can use against you, we most certainly will.
The proffer.
So we're going to tell you, because they definitely weren't going to keep that part quiet. They never keep the part quiet where the homie rolls on you, right? So this is how it played out. We're going to let you go for everything that you said. We're not going to use a single thing you said here today as testimony or evidence. It will be inadmissible, and you will walk out of here scot-free today. But we are going to take this information, prosecute, put pressure on your homies, and come back, spin the block, and get you anyway, because we know that they're going to roll on you once we tell them that you rolled on them. Fair enough? It's very simple. It's very simple. And you only have to think 2-3 chess moves ahead in order to see what they're going to do. And you can plan ahead to see what you're going to do. If you did, I thought you would have had a plan. I thought you would have, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, I'm not saying thought you would have, but you know what I'm saying? If I'm taking that, I would think that I would have something in place to lay low because I know that they're coming back for me. But he thought he should advertise and go on all of these shows, including Vlad TV. Let's see. And when I say that, let me see. Where we at?
But the Las Vegas Police Department got their biggest break possible. You see, Keefe D's proffer agreement prevented them from using anything that Keefe D said during that interview and during that proffer agreement. Anything Keefe D says outside that proffer agreement is not protected. So the Las Vegas Police Department couldn't thank their stars enough. They couldn't believe their luck. They couldn't believe that Keefe D had the braveness and the boldness to go on Vlad TV and confess that he was in the vehicle when Tupac was shot and killed.
Hanging out the window.
This is a video on Vlad TV. I don't know if it's right there right now. I didn't check to see if it was there right now. But this was a video on Vlad TV. I remember him saying this, and this is crazy. It was like a couple of years ago. But let's listen to it now. Jesus.
He was in the vehicle when Tupac was shot and killed.
Hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
I can't play much more of that interview because Vlad lied candidly about his role in Tupac's murder.
After the fight, that was all our plans. So everybody had was coming to the cafe and shit. I seen some of my partners from 1180 East Coast Crips. They're like, hey, they just jumped on your nephew. Like, ooh. Said some death row niggas. Like, bullshit. They're like, yeah. So we ran into the lane inside the lobby.
So y'all ran into your nephew Orlando. What did he say to you?
Weird, he just said they jumped on him and stuff like that. And I asked him, was he all right? He said his shoulder was kind of fucked up. I guess when getting kicked in the shoulder or something, he said his shoulder was fucked up.
How mad was he?
I was more mad than him. Yeah. Why would you know what I'm saying, motherfucker, you know what's up. Know who people that is.
So what exactly did he tell you? Did he tell you like, yo, Tupac jumped on me, or?
He just said that death row niggas jumped on him.
And the only injury he had was his shoulder?
Yeah, his shoulder was kind of fucked up.
Okay, so take me through that. You know, Orlando, he got jumped. What happened after that?
So,
crash test dummy, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so we need some help. We like, nah, we good.
Fix, it's one of mine. Fix.
My little homie,
it's one of mine.
We had some little homies out here selling work. Kilos.
Exactly, Chris. Crash
like,
test dummy.
Man, we know what them niggas gonna
crash
be.
test
They gonna
dummy.
be at the 662 Club. They've been advertising this all week. They gonna perform this night. So we went up there, and my little homies, when we got the choppers, waited up there about an hour. We got tired and went on, let's go get high. We bought some champagne bottles, Cristal and Dom Perignon and shit. Stopped at the store and got that shit. When we left, we was in 3 cars, matter of fact. And the other 2 cars missed the light. So we kept on going, heading towards the hotel.
Jesus.
When we got to Flamingo, that's when dude was hanging out. He was
Drobonat was hanging
or something. Stupid ass, hanging out the window.
Keefe D is telling interviewers the exact same story he told the police. We were eating at the Las Vegas MGM. Somebody came up to us, let us know our nephew got jumped. We went to go see him. He told us he got jumped. We were with some New York dudes. They gave us some choppers, told us he was going to be at the 662. We went to the 662, couldn't see him. When leaving, we seen Tupac hanging out the window. That's how we knew he was there. We busted you, and the murder happened. Keefe D was 100% confident that he was off the hook. So he even wrote a book about it where he went into grave details about what happened that night. He talked about seeing Suge Knight.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. This man got a book out on Audible. And we blame dude. Listen, we talk about and we get mad at dudes for making a music video or making a song about what they done did. This man done published a novella. I didn't know that there was literature. This is different. So my question to everybody in the chat right now, you know what? We just gonna do it this way. Y'all let me know. Give me a 1 in the chat if you're in favor of snitching. Give me a 2 in the chat if you're in favor of not being in the dumbass shit that you would need to snitch for in the first place. I'm a 2. I'm a 2 all day. I'm a 2 all day and tomorrow. I'm a 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 2, man. Like, how the hell? How the hell are you gonna take your nephew on a ride? I know your nephew got his ass. Like, your nephew needed to man up in that moment. He got beat. Now, he did get stomped out. We're not gonna act like it was a fair fade. He wasn't running the ones with Pac. Pac came across, sucker punched him. And, you know what I'm saying? And of course, this after he, you know what I'm saying, robbed one of Pac's friends out of his necklace. For whoever knows why. Kids, stay in school. Get a job. Work. Because by the time you get done weighing up how much you won and how much you lost and what you have to gain from being a part of all of this bullshit, I mean, honestly, going back to it, this is some bullshit. I didn't know that this man was writing a book. That's crazy. This is some bullshit. Because people may be interested in reading the tales and the drama that you've gone into, but learn from it. If you do read his book, I have no interest. But if you do read his book, do it with the lens of, at least I hope you would do it with the lens of, I don't ever want to put myself in this scenario. I don't ever want to have to consider whether or not I'm weighing the consequences of, you know what I'm saying, unaliving, deleting somebody versus the consequences of moving some weight. You know what I'm saying? Like that entrepreneur in that COVID commercial says, selling some things. Okay. I don't want to have to ever be in the position where I'm, you know what I'm saying? So we all got to make decisions is what I'm saying. Hey, you might get a book deal at the end of it, but you might have to go back to prison anyway. It's like, life's like Monopoly, man. Like, you could go around the board, get in prison, get out of jail, go back around the board and wind back up in the position that you was trying to get away from in the first place. And you just gonna tell everybody about what you did, even though you've never been found innocent of it. I can see if you were actually put on trial for the crime and then found innocent of it, because by double jeopardy standards, you cannot be tried again for a crime that you've already been exonerated of. So, like, I can see that. But the police told you, yeah, we're going to let you go now. Everybody that you give to us, we going to get them in here, and we going to tell them what you said. They left that part out, but you know that's always a part of it. We going to tell them that you said it and you told them, and then whatever they tell us, we going to use to get you back in here. But they didn't even need all of that, because this man went on Vlad TV, other podcasts, did a bunch of interviews talking about it, and he made a book. I think that's God's will over your life. I think this is what's happening. I think this is what it is. What we got in the chat, 2. Okay, we got 2. Nikolai said 2. Chris, you said 2. Drobo said 2. Listen, this is what it is. This is what I ain't ever trying to listen.
Details about what happened that night.
It's crazy.
He talked about seeing Suge Knight earlier that day, shaking his hand because he knew Suge Knight since he was 8 years old.
How you go from shaking somebody's hand to them then stomping your nephew out? He said this was this morning, correct? The morning of Pac passing away.
Details about what happened that night. He talked about seeing Suge Knight earlier that day.
So you saw Suge Knight earlier that day. You know what I'm saying? Or however y'all get down. Y'all was hand to hand earlier that day. And now later on that evening, your nephew gets stomped out for violating. And then you turn around, the same man that you shook hands with earlier that day was riding around the man that you wanted to take out, which was his flagship artist on his record label. I don't understand these niggas. I really don't. As much as I try, I don't understand these niggas.
Shaking his hand because he knew Suge Knight since he was 8 years old. He spoke about the exact same thing. Getting in the car, in a Cadillac, being in the block at 662, seeing Tupac, passing the gun to Orlando Anderson. He even spoke about Zip. He said that Zip handed him the gun. He also said that Foxy Brown was in the car with Zip, and he told Foxy Brown to get out the car. He went into grave details, step by step, what exactly happened during the Tupac murder.
That's it. I've seen enough. I've seen far more than enough. I got a headache. I got to nurse this shit off because I didn't think it was that bad. This man made literature. He didn't put out a song. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't put out a song about what he did, even though I believe Glasses Malone did, and it was fire, detailing what happened that night. But he himself didn't put out a song. He wrote a whole book. I didn't expect that. I'm gonna be honest. I had no idea. I wasn't expecting that part. Man, so this is what it comes to, telling. Everybody gave, what was his name? I want to say Daniel. I think that's his legal name, but 6ix9ine hell. And I was among them. Because I'm like, how are you going to say gang and all of this? But if you going to be of that life and then you turn around, especially as the OG, you pride yourself of being an OG, a mentor to young men. And then you do the very thing that you know isn't accepted. Where you come from? I say it all the time, folks. Never trust a salesman that would not partake in the product that they're trying to sell you. So this is very much on the other side of the coin. If we want to do the gender thing, this is very much the other side of the coin when we talk about the Cardi B's who made WAP but don't want her daughter to listen to it. When we talk about the Carishas, aka I think it's Young Miami, it might be the other one. I'm gonna say Young Miami. The Young Miamis of the world that are out here, you know what I'm saying, all on Diddy in the videos and the pictures and all on IG, bearing it all for the world to see with the city girl life. And then you want to turn around and say on Hollywood Unlocked that you don't want your daughter to participate in. This is the other side of that coin. This is the other side of the coin. This is the other side of the gender coin where we have OGs talking about, yeah, you need to stand on something and be 10 toes down, young, but then you turn around. And the moment that, you know what I'm saying, you get the first deal in front of you and they give you an out, we want you to give up this one and that one and that one and this one and that one. We want you to be open, honest, and tell us exactly what the fuck happened that night. And don't bullshit us. I bet you they threw a boy at the end of it. Don't bullshit us, boy. And then Keefy D just sitting there like, you know the face that niggas make when they act like they thinking, but they ain't really thinking because they already made up their mind of what they gonna do. Because they knew what it was when they brought him in. It's like, fuck, damn, man. Because if he had actually thought it through, there's no way in hell you gonna turn on your peoples for some drug charges when you implicating people in one of the most famous unalivings of all time. One of the most notorious feuds of all time. Shout out to Biggie. Rest in peace, B.I.G. Rest in peace, Tupac Shakur. This is the other side of the coin, where the OGs in the hood are misleading the youth in order to get on with what they want to do. Ultimately selfish. Ultimately selfish. So if we're going to hold the women accountable for what they doing and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, it's only right. It's only right that I say this for the men too. Because if, you know what I'm saying, we don't like these traits in our community, we gotta pull away from them. So shout out to all the twos in the chat. If you still a one, I hope that you a two someday. Because it's beautiful on this side. I don't have to worry about nothing but making money. That's it. I'll be listening to other people and their struggles that they put themselves through some days, and I'm just like, God, thank you. Every day I wake up being able to do what the fuck I want, it not hurt anybody, and me not having to go to jail for it or risk going to jail for it. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Oh, man. But worry observations, righteous discussions, unite people. It's the Word of Podcast. I have been your host, OMNI, ETC, Omni, etc. Listen, shout out to the chat. Everybody in the chat has been rocking out with me so far. Everybody that's going to catch this afterwards, please leave your comments down below. Share your thoughts. Let me know what you think about Keefy D. You know what I'm saying? And what you think of us going forward, if we're going to call it community and call it culture, and we ask for all of these other entities for reform, what are some ways in which we can reform? What is it that we control that we can reform? I say personally, self. The first thing one should reform is their self. Seek self-reform, and once you change yourself, then you'll be better equipped to change people around you, or align yourself with those that want to change. You know what I'm saying? Because who wants to stay the same person all over? You know what I'm saying? The entire time. Appreciate you, Chris. With that, we out.